Oh, crud!
So what is online censorship anyway?
Internet censorship is the control or suppression of the publishing of or access to information on the internet. It may be carried out by governments or by private organizations at the behest of government, regulators, or on their own initiative.
But why would anyone want to censor the internet?
Very good question.
You want to know why internet censorship is used? I'll tell you. Internet censorship is used by countries and governments to have a control on what is put onto the internet. There are many arguments used that go for and against using internet censorship. Some pros would be that it protects the moral standards of people. Also, it bans child pornography and hate speech. Also, when using internet censorship, government leaders and information can be kept secret. Some pros to using internet censorship could be when there are ads or such that contain illegal substances, alcohol, and cigarettes. It can be censored out because people tend to copy what they see on the internet. Also, internet censorship protects the privacy of the people. It also prevents violence and racism. It also prevents companies from spreading inaccurate or exaggerated information about their companies. For as many arguments as there are for internet censorship, there are also many against. Some would be, a big one in the United States is that it compromises the rights that we have in the First Amendment, including freedom of speech. It also can be said to prevent the free flow of ideas and creativity. Using online censorship is also a lot of the time associated with dictatorships. A final con of internet censorship could be that people say that the government should not control the people, that people should control the government.
Okay, I understand why people want to censor the internet, but how do they do it?
How do they do it?
We all know a little bit about online censorship, but how is it being censored? In some high schools, for example, pornography and other vulgar information is censored. During school hours, social networking sites such as Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter are blocked. Several countries are catching up to online censorship. They are using it to protect their government, citizens, and the society as a whole. In 2010, the Chinese government suggested a software known as the Green Dam. This software was to be installed on all newly manufactured computers. Its purpose was to censor political and religious speech online. However, this idea was tossed out because of the complaints. Facebook, a very popular social networking site, has been banned from China. This will stop its citizens from sharing its views and opinions with other people around the world. The Chinese Ministry of Industry and Information Technology does not block websites, it just filters words typed into the computers. For example, if you type Taiwan, you will lose internet access and will not be able to gain information about it. The list of banned words in China continue to increase. A social networking site in Cuba called Red Social asks its users for their passwords and emails before they even sign up, and barely anyone has internet access in Cuba. There has been speculation that a US company, Blue Code Systems, sold an equipment to the Syrian government that helps them censor their content online, but they deny that accusation. It seems like online censorship is becoming bigger and bigger all around the world. Some may say it violates us freedom of speech, but in the long run it protects us.
So which countries are best known for online censorship?
Online censorship takes place in nearly every country in the globe, but some countries censor more than others. A few of the countries that censor heavily on the internet include North Korea, Saudi Arabia, and China. In North Korea, only about 4% of the population even has access to the internet, and the internet that is accessible is under heavily control by the government of North Korea. China is a heavily protector of the internet as well, and China blocks any information on the Taiwan independence, the Tibetan independence, and drug use and pornography and other various issues as well. Saudi Arabia is a very firm supporter of online censorship as well. Saudi Arabia censors drug use, pornography, and any information pertaining to the religious conversion of Muslims and other various issues as well. Just 2 years after the internet was introduced into Saudi Arabia, already 200,000 websites were blocked.
So how serious is online censorship?
It's a huge deal.
Online censorship can actually be extremely dangerous. In the United States, online censorship is usually used to protect its citizens, but in countries in the Middle East, it's used to prevent citizens from getting access to the internet. In Syria, the government actually will track people's satellite phones and they'll go and arrest them. And they do that to prevent citizens from uploading content to the internet via those satellite phones. And in Tunisia, you can't really even get access to the internet at all. The only citizens that do have to do it through proxy servers that are located outside the country. Libya is also really bad. In Libya, they drive around in trucks, the military, and they're scanning for internet signals. And if they discover that you have an internet connection in your home, you're actually tried for treason. Since the Arab Spring, things have begun to change. Tunisia now has fairly unrestricted internet access for its citizens, but Egypt has more than 12,000 of its citizens awaiting military trial. In Syria, things changed a little bit when the government unrestricted several of the popular social media sites like Facebook and Twitter, but then they used people's blog posts in their Facebook feeds to arrest them when they said anything against the government. On the plus side, people know that the internet's out there, and Middle Eastern citizens want access to it, and they want free access to it. And in order to achieve that goal, citizens all over the Middle East have begun to form pro-rights groups that target Western companies that sell surveillance equipment to the more restrictive governments. And that might not seem like a big deal, but they've already gotten the European Parliament to pass a law preventing any of the companies based in Europe from selling that surveillance technology. And that's a huge step in the right direction. So what's the future of online censorship, you might ask? Well, we can tell you.
The future of censorship is based on Spinternet. Spinternet is a name coined by Morozov, who writes about the politics behind censorship. Spinternet is the idea that the government will spin our views to coincide with their views. Spinternet is also based on the idea that the government would develop solutions to censor based on individual browsing history. Some organizations have expressed their opposition of online censorship. One organization in particular is the World Trade Organization, and they believe that online censorship has a negative impact on international trade. In contrast to the opposers are the supporters. The U.S. government has proposed 2 legislations, the Stop Online Piracy Act and the Protect IP Act. Both attempt to stop infringement on foreign websites. They also state that the copyright holders may request that any links be removed from the infringing sites, and also that funding be cut for the sites.
So now what?
The future
Of
Online censorship
Is
Up to
you!
3, 2, 1,
Team Green!